So another update on drawing Cyberpunk in perspective. So continue exploring advanced perspective. So let's do this view first. So here, idea of such drawings is kind of improving my general cyberpunk, let's say cyberpunk intelligence. So it's like if you have different modes, or you have like different subjects and themes on which you are thinking usually. So it's like thinking about daily task, thinking about your economic condition, thinking about your job problems, and thinking about your creative kind of tasks and problems. So, and then you kind of growing your mind around these topics, and then you kind of develop your vision, your interests, your tendencies. And if like me, like you, I have like interest in some kind of urban environments and complex structures, in the cyberpunk kind of stuff. So, and when I have some interest in material, learning from this material, it's also kind of improving my cyberpunk intellect, like visual vocabulary or any kind of shape material, shape library, idea library. So it's not just about like how to draw some particular detail, it's also about general approach with all fine aspects of it. So, and gaining mileage with it, you have like more time exploring and drawing cyberpunk. It's just like kind of grow your cyberpunk muscles and cyberpunk intelligence. Let's put some flying vehicle here. Maybe some flying and ground vehicle. So what every artist and designer and creative people do, they learn best practices. So watch best work which you can find and study it, analyze it. And best way to study it and look kind of closer is to try yourself, kind of try to draw it, experience it. Be not only a viewer, passerby, kind of, and be also part of this experience of being a kind of author of this work. It's real, like, even it's not your idea, even it's not your like initial project, which is kind of course much harder than just copy it, but still when you process it, when you let it go through your own like physical experience, it's also creative experience, so you getting more practice of doing some high quality work. So here I have down shot, aerial view. I have couple of tutorials already on the channel describing detailing like how to build such perspective, how to do it in a curvilinear and a 5-point perspective. So here will be zebra, crosswalk. Here. So for this one, it's like 2-point perspective here. So let me change a little. Okay. So first can look like where is horizon line. So we look on this Z axis direction, and we'll look in the X axis direction. So we will find they have kind of convergent points about this H. So here is horizon line, because you see here this Z line go up and this Z line go down. So horizon line in between about here. It doesn't mean like need to follow exactly proportion. I even have like different size of frame here, but just necessary to know structure of reference. So let's say I'll put it here. So then I put some shapes here. So main elements here is this building. Here we have little building on the left, and here will be car. So then I establish grids. So for y-axis it's tilted, so it's like 3-point perspective here. like this. Y. For Z, it's already we have horizon line, and I can see if there's vanishing point. So seems vanishing point for Z is here, so I just draw a couple lines for this vanishing point, and I look where is X, and X kind of also have here. Also just drop a couple lines, also some lines above horizon line, here above horizon line. So now I have perspective grid, and I better, like clearer, define this building. And here I more like look for reference as inspiration. It's like I don't have task to practice like exact copying. I practice technology and structure. So I practice like sequence I want to draw. In this case, a sequence is a pencil and ink. Like pencil at first involves drawing grid, and then drawing like composition, sketch, arrangement of composition, like what I'm doing now. So I might just practice, you know, like drawing perspective grids without any objects, you know, just to practice like different variations of perspective grids. But it's interesting to try it in some actual scenarios, and here I combine like improving my visual library and practicing perspective by drawing from reference. So kind of observing, exploring other artists' ideas, like interesting solutions. While also refining my drawing methods, kind of my drawing approach, which is like comic books or manga. So because typical comic book technique, like draw with pencil and then make final touches with ink, and after also can do watercolor, like I prefer watercolor. Sometimes artists do like acrylic ink, but I don't know much about acrylic ink, so prefer watercolor. Also Copic has really nice markers to make coloring. So it's kind of very fun to snap objects to perspective grid. It was very convenient. So here we have like don't forget a vertical grid here, so if I draw lamp post here, it will be like following this vertical grid. Also, if I draw some people walking, let's say here some punk, cyberpunk, or android, and here some pedestrians. Cyber jaywalker. It's like edge runner. Anyway, don't make too much details, just some kind of indications, so after I can draw ink. So with this sequence, a lot of artists draw comic books and manga. So most famous, of course, it's Möbius, Katsuhiro Otomo, Masamune Shiro, Tsutomu Nihei. Like if we look at Tsutomu Nihei, yeah, he often does this kind of, no, not often, but there's like demonstrations how he draw without pencil. It's yeah, it's kind of stage in which you get, so in which I also want to get, so I will have so broad visual library with the cyberpunk and with urban environments. So you know, it's literally like speaking about thousands of images. So it's like experience of drawing of 1,000 images, like thousands, like more than 1,000. So it's just drawing, and then you have like universe in your brain, so you can kind of just take it out in any moment. You can make variations of it, any combinations of it, and this is what we see with Nihei, like apazims, for example. There is so much from my kind of vision, like I see so much like variations on blame. So it's, he kind of like keep drawing similar motifs, and he draws them so many times, you know, all this his series, like blame, all this Abara and whatever. So I don't know, like there's like speaking about a million images, I think, already. So he can draw without pencil, like very high quality work, but it's not actual goal to draw without pencil. There's like so many super professional and really like iconic artists who draw with a pencil, because it's a very complex work. Oh, hello, Bully. Yeah, and for you morning in Taiwan is 9 evening. Yeah, so I draw today a later stream than usual. So we can see, like, if you find like process works of Möbius, there are a lot of works where he drew with like heavy pencil and like very messy pencils. And we see Fred Moore, who else? Like Daniel Warren Johnson, Ryan Berry, they all have so many pencil. Because you kind of, instead of doing thumbnails or some kind of preparation or kind of preliminary research and idea sketching, you just like thinking and develop an idea right on a paper with your pencil. So it's so many lines because you're developing idea, you're figuring out in the process what it should be. So it's kind of like when you draw without pencil, it means in the most cases, in the 19% kind of, it means you're drawing something you draw before, so there is not much like new ideas there. It's just like variation on your previous drawings. So you just like focus on final stage without need to figure out like placement, composition, and even like what actually you want to draw here, like what you want to show. So especially like for beginner artists, it's like absolutely pointless, like false idea on like focusing on drawing without pencil. It's not like main work. You're not like, it's no sense to trying to become like artist who draw without pencil. You will eventually be able to draw without pencil. It's just absolutely like inevitable. But instead, like, you should focus on practicing like complex structures, practicing on building compositions, building like complex pictures. There's a lot of nuances you need to learn and practice. So focusing too much on like appearance for observers, so like how much like excellent artists your look for viewers, I mean, it's just kind of only distract you from progress. So yeah, and of course you can practice draw without pencil. It's a good practice. It's just like help you to sometimes like develop confidence, sometimes develop your line quality, or beat your perfectionism, because you might like tend to draw too slow, too long when you like erase and redraw all the time if you use pencil. So for beginners it might be like practical exercise. It's just like exercise, like one of many other trainings, but not as a main kind of like a style or something. No, totally, it's not about this. Let's see. So, and you can see also here, as like what I mentioned, I not copy, I rebuild, I redraw, recreate. So because I have my own space, my own perspective grid, which defines, like, perspective grid is a structure of a 3D space. And I built my own space here, and now I kind of like establish an environment here. I rebuilt all these buildings. So instead of like looking for their exact copy, like nervously trying to follow line directions and like all these proportions, and just don't have like don't have focus, but like trying just to do everything in one time, right? This will be like super overwhelming and super ineffective. Instead, you should have focus. You should have clear task. So like here, like I say, my task: practice technology and build visual memory. This task give me a lot of full flexibility, because it's give me freedom to kind of be loose with proportions, be loose with all elements. I can include, exclude anything. So, and this way, like when I have this focus and I see all extra qualities like precision, accuracy, only as extra, not necessary quality, it makes my drawing process just more fun. Just kind of wandering around and enjoying process. So let's say, okay, can put some paper here and there, some trash here. I look like rather on a design in my picture. Because it's also kind of, we need to break out from this like amateurish perception. Like viewer, he will always compare your work with a reference. Like if you draw some real place, for example, like you draw it, like you're afraid like later everybody like who watch your picture, they will come to exact place like where you draw it, and they will stay there and compare the view. Like say like, okay, here you draw wrong proportion, here is like little out of place, and like tree looks different and the clouds is different. So of course nobody will do this. Everybody just look on your final work. They just look on your drawing, or they look on your canvas, and they have no idea how look reference from which you work, like from like real view or some image on which you've been inspired. So they usually have no idea like what was your inspiration, like did you draw from imagination or from real place. It's all about impression that your work make on people. So when you study or draw from reference, which you always do, you should remember this. Should remember this moment. that like right now you can see all difference with the reference, but later nobody will see this original reference. So it should be absolutely not important. Cyber J. Walker. Red light runner. Так, let's do this one. So, like, again, like when we see Kim Jong-il murals, like when he drew all these huge murals without preliminary sketch, it's different from the process when he drew comic book, because when he drew comic book, there is a reference. So let's see here, like here we have this like 3-point perspective with the y-axis convergent downwards, and we can see where is z and x. We can actually like take like car as a like perspective for z and x, like a 2 vanishing point and 3 vanishing point together. So let's see, like here. Oh, and I can do here like curvilinear fisheye. So horizon line will be like this. Here we have oh. Thank you. Here we have this, like 2 x vanishing points. So let's see, and the y-axis will have vanishing point somewhere here, but let's say like I cannot draw there. Let's say I have only this, right? So no problem, I can have this straight line. Here I can define like angle of these lines here. So let's say like this. So I have this and this. Now I just put in between. I have tutorial where I talk about this, like how to build perspective grids. If you're beginner, you can watch. There's like a very clear explanation for beginners. So then we have a grid for x axis. Hello, Saman. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. yeah, we'll do more like next time about like how to draw stairs in a 5-point perspective. Так, so here x, y, and z, z. Okay. Here's z. Так. So if we want to draw like this car, in 45 angles, so I put here like x45 vanishing point. So, and this will be a second vanishing point, will be here after x. So, and this так, this don't need. Yeah, so and this will be z vanishing point. I move because x moved to 45 here. So if we want z vanishing point, it will be like this here. It will be z45. So for this, like two vanishing point perspective here. So now we have this car kind of two vanishing point perspective. Here will be some kind of engine. some freeway kind of. Very busy. Maybe I download some wrong update. It's just folder with pictures and a text file with a phrase, you need to draw this. So I try to play Cyberpunk update 2 and 2. It's kind of interesting engine, just sketch on paper. Let's put some ink. So also doing this kind of quick shading, it's also kind of practice of establishing general light and shadow relationship in the composition. So it's kind of help you to improve with the coloring too, because you learn how to see general tones instead of kind of being lost in details, like in the colors, like when you start to kind of trying to color in each element, mixing all these tiny colors in a palette, and it's much more productive and much more efficient to see it first as like general light and shadow, as a general like light, gray and dark shapes, because sometimes it's a shadow, sometimes maybe just objects have different value, maybe it's like dark vehicle, like black vehicle, or so like different tone colors. But you need to practice this skill, like just to establish like general tone shapes, like dark, middle and light. So now I don't have very like dark gray, I have only light gray right now, but anyway still can make some definition of different shapes, like divide the light from shadow, maybe like make some accent. So you kind of practice and use volume also as composition tool, not only kind of tool to get some realism. No, it should be first of all always should be about composition. You achieve realism just by like avoiding critical mistakes. Like if you manage to avoid some like really critical errors in your work, it will look realistic. So instead kind of, you know, like switch your focus from trying to make realistic work to making interesting composition. Focus on composition first, and realism is kind of secondary goal, like after composition, and you considering realism about kind of not like something you need to achieve, but something you need to maintain, kind of like. So like think about it as like there is certain rules, certain system and structure which you need to handle properly, like just make sure you don't make like really nasty and critical and dubious mistakes. Just so. And you will surprise how many very high quality works done by artists with this mindset. It's like they all think this way. Just like nobody cares about realism. And I almost don't look reference right now, I just kind of little sculpting here on my picture, just see how it works, just explore volume. It also helps, like I say, this mindset when I am practicing right now, and I just study exploring material, exploring technology, like which step I should do, like which step after which step, you know, this kind of pipeline, iterations. And this what I'm practicing, this what I'm learning. And when is an interesting outcome, when it's like lucky accidents or it's like good result of right solutions, I make this kind of notes in my mind. I say like, okay, this works. Then I make mistake and I make note in my mind, so like, this not work, so I will fix it next time, or I will avoid it next time. So kind of, you know, this is a very important practice. Like instead of reaching for some pretty results, or like trying to prove someone something, you focus on like growing, you know, like growing mindset. You are looking about like how to improve, how to learn, trying to understand and kind of see it deeper levels. Hello, Mac, thank you. And here this one is just so nice. Look at this, so cool. I love this thing. So it's like I've been just watching some videos like with like video from Cyberpunk game, and making screenshots. This is so cool. Hello Orabe. So, and when I see cool picture, I think like, okay, time to learn from it. So here we see, of course, like main obvious perspective. Here it's a 3-point perspective. It's like upshot or warm view, kind of this. So we look from down top, so vertical lines converging here, and I just try and kind of estimate on which extent we have this tilt, we have this convergence. Then look for X and Z axis. And here, actually we can even avoid, this Z and X perspective grid here. Let's just look what we can do with Y, using only Y grid. So I will make it stronger. I will make it like almost like pyramid here. Okay, like this. So it's like and now I will just, instead of making like so many like X and Z lines, I will just focus on shapes, following this Y convergence, establishing shapes. And when I establish shapes, again I think about like what I want to use, instead of like how much I need to follow this, like nervous, like, oh, I need to copy it exactly. No, I think about like what I like and what I want to take into my picture. So let's see. link anymore. Так. Okay, anyway, let's finish here some quick studies here. Yeah, I need to go. See you next video.